What is happening, guys? It's Spruce Goose here, and welcome back to another episode of Madden is Trash, and today I'm going to be raging about zone drops. Now, zone is something that I've been frustrated with for all of Madden 21. I just feel like zones do not play the way they're supposed to play, and so because of that, I was avoiding playing zone as much as possible and playing just man. Now, over in regs, man coverage is pretty much impossible anyway, but in Madden Ultimate Team, up until today, man coverage was a very viable defense. Running one step aheads and maybe acrobats or deep route KOs on your cornerbacks was a very viable defensive strategy, but today that comes to an end. And that's because, as many of you may already know, EA is updating the AP values for a lot of different abilities, and one step ahead is now going to be 6 AP for each player, and that is just way too much AP for it to be a viable defensive strategy. So the man coverage meta is almost definitely going away. Some people may try to make it work with bench press, but I've tried bench press. I really don't think it works very well. I think that after bench press was very overpowered at the beginning of the year, EA said we don't want that ability ever coming back as any form of meta ever again for Madden 21. So I really don't think that that's going to work very well. I think that zone is going to be the way to go moving forward. So with zone being the new defensive meta, it's time for me to learn zone properly, which is what I was doing last night over on my Twitch stream at twitch.tv/SpruceGooseTV. And I had an extremely frustrating loss because of what I think is zone drops not working properly. And that's what I wanted to talk about today with you guys. So this is the game situation I was in. I was up by 4 points, and it was the end of the game. My opponent has 2 timeouts and less than a minute left, and I am putting my zone drop flats at 30-yard drops. So those are your blue flats. So your hard flats, your cloud flats, those will be overridden by a 30-yard drop depth according to these coaching adjustments that you see on the screen right now. And so when I put my zone drops for my flats at 30 yards, I expect my guys to drop 30 yards back. I expect them to drop as far back as possible, and I feel like that's not really the case. And that's going to be kind of the focus of why I'm so frustrated right now with zone coverage, because I feel like if the game tells you that your players are going to drop 30 yards back, they should actually be dropping 30 yards back. But let's jump ahead to the actual play in question. It's going to be this play right here. Now, this is my setup, guys. I'm in a cover 3. So if you see, he's moved the ball down to the 19-yard line, but he has no timeouts left. And I know from the way he's been playing that he likes to attack the corners. It's had mixed results for him, and he's thrown me a couple picks to my 30-yard zone drop depths, the blues and 30s. And let's before we watch what happens, let's go ahead and just analyze real quick what my defense should be covering with this setup. So I'm in a cover 3, and remember, these blues are dropping 30 yards back. That's my coaching adjustment that I set, 30-yard zone drop depths. So for this corner, this is the corner that he's going to be looking for, this back of the end zone right here. I have a defensive back in a deep third, an outside third. So that means he's responsible for this third of the field deep. So let's keep that in mind first off. That's what this deep blue is doing. And then this hard flat is really in a 30-yard drop. So he's not actually playing the hard flat. It's overridden by my zone drop depths. He is supposed to be dropping 30 yards back and covering the flat. So a flat 30 yards back from a line of scrimmage of the 19-yard line, 30 yards back is the back of the end zone. So I am committing to guarding all of this, at least in theory, with my zone setup. Now, are there weaknesses to this coverage? Absolutely. You could say, well, you're going to have holes deep in between these deep blues. You're going to have holes there and there. And then also your sidelines. The sidelines will be wide open because this guy's dropping back and this guy's dropping back. So if he was to attack me in between my deep blues, or if he is to attack me to the sidelines and pick up maybe a 10-yard gain and get out of bounds, I'd be like, okay, that's smart of him because he was attacking what was open. What should not be open is anything back here between my outside third and my 30-yard zone drop. This should not be open. If there's one thing on the field that is covered, it should be this. I'm going to go ahead and let it play so you guys can see what happened. He scored a touchdown. There were only, 16 seconds left or something. And 19 seconds left. And he ended up winning the game. So let's talk about what happened. Let's first look at my guy in my deep blue, my outside third. There's an outside third. So if you were an actual person with a couple brain cells and your responsibility is the outside third and there's only one person coming into your area, what do you think you would do? Maybe you'd be like, oh, this guy has entered my zone, my outside third. He's also the only person in my outside third. Maybe I should guard him or something. But no, let's just let him run right by. Let's just stand flat-footed like we're not even on the field. What is the point? What is the point of this guy being on the field? He's still saying it. He let this guy run completely right in front of his face and had zero reaction. And this is his zone, an outside third. I'm speechless, guys. I'm speechless about how EA expects people to play zone coverage, and this is the AI logic that we're dealing with. I'm in disbelief at what's happening here. That an outside third with only a single receiver in his zone, he can't even react to it. He can't even have a little flinch as the guy runs completely past his face. But that's okay, remember, because I also set a 30-yard drop depth on this guy. So let's back up a play. And he's coming from here. Now, I know that's a lot of distance for him to cover, but the guy who eventually catches the touchdown is the tight end right here. And the tight end got back, no problem. So I know that my defensive back can also get back that far as well. So 30 yards. Remember, 30 yards from the 19-yard line is going to be the back of the end zone. So let's see if he makes it to the back of the end zone. And so what he's going to do, he's going to start dropping. And honestly, right here, I'm like, okay, that's good. He's actually dropping back, and he's dropping to the flat. So far, so good. And here's where it all goes wrong. When he hits about the 3-yard line, he's going to stop dropping back. Do you guys see this? He stopped dropping back and came up. He did not even make it 20 yards. The goal line would have been 20 yards back. He did not even make it 20 yards back on his 30-yard zone drop. And sure enough, the fact that he came up, I don't know why he came up. Is it a glitch? Is it because this guy rolled out? Is that how you glitch out these zones? Is just by rolling out and they stop playing their assignment? The fact that he came up was the difference. If he kept dropping back, he probably makes a play on that. If he keeps dropping back. He's close. Even with him stopping his drop and moving in the wrong direction and then having to go back to the ball. But this is what kills me, guys. This is what kills me. Is, to me, from a logical standpoint, that is like the one spot on the field that should be covered. Every defense has weaknesses, right? Every defense has weaknesses. But the one spot on the field, in my opinion, that should not be open is the back corner of the end zone when I have an outside third and a 30-yard flat supposed to be dropping back there. Attack me up the seam. Attack me to the sideline. Attack my weaknesses, and that's fine. Those are the things I chose to give up. But if this whole step, I even dropped this guy extra far back. I thought he wasn't going to be able to play his zone properly anyway, so I was like, let me help you out. Let me bump you back a little bit. Didn't matter. It's just beyond frustrating when it feels like your opponent can throw straight at the area you were prioritizing your defense to play. I'm going to try and pause it with the zone art up in a sec. But does that make any sense, guys? Am I crazy here? Now, I do realize that there's a way to play zone well. I know that the best players in the world, they play zone just fine. They don't have these issues. And so it's going to be part of the learning curve for me. I'm going to have to learn how to play zone better. I'm sure there are better ways to play this. Maybe I just need to take one of these safeties in a blue and not have the hard flat dropping back from way down here. I don't know. That's my first thought. Maybe I just need a completely different coverage setup for in the red zone. Maybe the end zone and the back of the end zone causes the defenders to have some weird reactions. We've seen that with receivers as well, is they just behave very strangely whenever they get on the sidelines or the back of the end zone. So maybe that's a factor as well. But it's just beyond frustrating. And I'm going to learn. I'm going to get better. And as I learn how to play zone properly, I'll try to convey that information to you guys. I'll probably make a video. Once I eventually learn how, I'll make a video on how to play zone coverage. But I play Madden way too much. Imagine the frustration of somebody who's playing the game a little more casually and isn't going to put in all the time and hours to learn all the little intricacies of how the AI actually works because it's so unintuitive. Imagine how frustrating that must be for a casual player. And so I just wish that things would be intuitive on the football field. I really wish things would just be intuitive. And to me, the fact that this corner route can get open against an outside third and a 30-yard drop from a blue is one of the most counterintuitive things I've ever seen. And that's why I had to make a video on it. Just this one play. I'm sure there are countless other examples. If I wanted to go through my stream last night, I'm sure I could find a bunch of examples of situations where I felt like the zone drops were not playing the way that they were supposed to. But this one actually lost me a game, and I specifically was trying to defend this route. And it's not like I can go more than 30. 30 yards is as far as you can go on zone drops. I can't go to 35. I can't go to 40. 30 is the max. And so it's kind of just like, I don't know. How do you defend that? Let me know in the comments, guys. How do you defend that back of the corner or back corner of the end zone if your zone drops from here, can't get to it at a 30, and your outside third is going to dummy out and do nothing? How do you guys guard it? I don't know. I'm sure I'll know maybe in a couple days, maybe in a week, maybe in a couple weeks, depending on how quickly I learn. But right now, it's extremely frustrating, man. And it's just another example, in my opinion, of how Madden is trash. I think that zones should actually play where they're supposed to play. Especially this guy, man. This guy who literally did nothing on this play. That's actually probably the most frustrating part. But it is what it is. It's the game that we're dealing with. And if you want to be good at the game, you have to accept these bugs, these flaws as features, and just learn to play with them, learn to adapt with them. Because at the end of the day, we all want to win, right? We want to win over everything else. And so we're going to adapt. And I'm going to adapt as well. I'm going to learn what I did wrong on this play and make sure I can fix that mistake in the future. But for now, since I don't know what I was supposed to do differently, it's extremely frustrating. And I'd say it's also very counterintuitive. But it is what it is. That's just Madden, right? Oh, well. But anyway, guys, that's all I got for you in this episode of Madden is Trash. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, in the comments, let me know what you guys would have done on this play to cover that back corner of the end zone. I don't know. I still think my setup wasn't that bad. Obviously, it didn't work out, but I can't think of a whole lot I would have done differently. That's why I want to hear from you guys, what you would have done differently. But anyway, thanks again for watching, guys. I hope you have a great one, and I'll catch you in the next video.